その命、世に捧げよ。世はすべてを支配せし王だ。
Hello, the unit coming this week to Octopath Traveler COTC along the new version release update and all tournaments is Pardis himself. The master of all, the breaker of balance, the game breaker is here. Yes, he came a month earlier than predicted, but I guess NetEase wanted to do something for Octopath Traveler 0 for our anniversary, so we're getting the game killer now. Just kidding, I'm kidding. He's not a game killer, but he is really stupidly strong and does break the game in some ways. Anyway, what does he do? How does he do his crazy shit that you ever once heard about? Well, rollover review for what he does. He's a scholar, yet he uses that big-ass greatsword, because he's an Omega class sword DPS. His special abilities is that he grants himself 200% 3 times potency up when max boosting, so that's very easy to do, and can literally do actual criminal levels of damage without max setup and grant self double cast with his ultimate. Like, I am serious, you don't even have to max up min-max debuffs and buffs perfectly with him for him to reach damage cap. That's how strong this man is. His preferred weapons are Brilliant or Stalwart Tomes for damage cap. Yes, I understand that he is a P-attack captor, yet he still has to use Tomes because he's a scholar. I guess that was their attempt of trying to nerf him a little bit. It didn't work, but that's probably what they tried to do. If you are somehow struggling to still reach cap due to a weaker account, you can use Fortune for better P-attack. But like once you have halfway decent setup, you just need max damage cap on him, period. Brilliant or Stalwart Tomes, period, 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 period. His preferred accessories, all in on damage cap. All of it. Give it all to him. He is the master of all for a reason. The master of all damage cap. Give it all to him. Alright, so for his passive skills. So starting with Pardis and Seraphina, they are now introducing the basic passives. The basic passives are a new mechanic that many units going forward will have. They are always learned from level 1, and they cannot be turned off. They just always exist. His basic passive is that his attack command becomes a sword attack instead of a tome attack, and this basic attack command also exploits fire, lightning, and dark. I know you don't use normal attack that often, but it's something, and it does exploit for free. So there you go. So his first passive. When using 3 BP on an attack skill, gain 200% potency up, but act last during the turn. So the whole act last thing is supposed to be like, well, if you do max BP, like when they're not broken, he might get hit or something, which could ruin his second passive. But like once an enemy's broken, this really doesn't matter, and he always goes last, and this makes it even better because if he goes last, all your other units can guarantee get extra buffs and debuffs out if needed. So this is just a god tier passive. Holy, 3 times attack power for free. It's crazy. Anyway, second passive at 3-star. While at full HP, self 30% physical attack and sword damage up, and 100,000 damage cap up. He hits hard and he self-caps his own buffs. Well, sort of self-caps, because his TP passive is that his self-P attack up cap from active and passive/equipment is changed to 50%. So he's only giving himself 30% of his 50% passive physical attack up, but it's also really easy to get that other 20% without too much effort. Like, you know, and he doesn't even need it that much, but if you get it, great. Alright, so on to his skills. His base kit, he has a 1-hit single target sword that exploits fire, lightning, and dark. A 1-hit AoE sword that does the same. A 3-hit random target sword that does the same. A self 30% physical attack / sword damage up for 3 to 6 turns, and at max boost targets the front row instead. That's actually, kind of decent. Because he can cap his own sword damage up buff instantly or extended, give himself 30% of his 50% physical attack buff, and if he's max boosting it, give it to the entire front row, because you'll see later when you're using him, he's so strong that he's so good that you can actually have another DPS with the pet stacker, and he can just be there and help and just help and still do criminal damage. So the age of multi-DPSing is it gets even better with him. He has a 1-hit AoE sword that exploits, fire, lightning, dark, but it also inflicts 15% physical defense and sword res down for 2 turns, allowing a little bit of support. His 3-star skill is that all other allies will take 50% max HP damage, and then he does a 1-hit single target sword that exploits fire, lightning, and dark. This skill's terrible. I don't know why you'd ever use that. His 4-star skill, a 2-hit single target sword that exploits fire, lightning, and dark. And at max boost, remove 1 BP from all other front row allies to increase the power by up to 2.5 times. This is also a skill you really don't need to use because stealing BP is a little more annoying than stealing other stuff. And it's only a 2-hit sword, 4-hit with his ult buff, so not worth it. His 5-star skill, this is his main nuke that you've probably seen videos on already, is a 1-hit AoE sword that exploits fire, lightning, and dark. But at max boost, remove 50 SP from all other front row allies to repeat this attack once, up to 3 times for 150 SP. So it is very expensive for everybody's SP, but if you have a unit like Shauna, it's not a big deal. And so that does become a 4-hit, 4 times 80 from his power increase at level 99. And then, then you triple it, then you triple that because it's 200%. And that's, and it also scales because of max BP, but I don't have that written down, I'm sorry. So its point is it's really, really strong, and it's a 4-hit, and it double caps with his ult, so it's an 8-hit that's going to just max damage cap, and his damage cap can reach over 1 million right now if you have all the damage cap support and accessories. So, yeah, that can just do 8 million damage right now, which later term JP, this does get crept if you have proper setup, but for right now in our game, this is insane. He has a 1-hit single target sword that is just one of those mega nukes that exploits the same stuff. It has a bonus 100,000 damage cap, but it becomes 300,000 damage cap when he's 6-star, which is what you pull him as. So it's basically a 1-hit giga nuke that's going to damage cap with 300,000 bonus damage cap on top of his other 2 sources of damage cap. So he has basically so much free damage cap. So if you do want to do a 2-hit because you can double cast this too, that just does insane damage through shield. This Giga Nuke is something that you can use. It's probably really, really good for farming because it doesn't take anything from his allies. Then his TP skill is a limit 2 use per battle negate skill, and it negates all attacks for 2 turns, with some exceptions like overkill. He can't negate stuff like that. And if he negates an attack, he counters with a very strong single target sword that exploits fire, lightning, and dark. So that might have some situational use as well. For his EX skill and ultimate technique, his EX skill only has 1 total use, but it's unlocked from turn 3 onward, and it's extremely good. He gives himself dead aim, plus his attack skills exploit dagger and bow weaknesses, as well as 100,000 damage cap up for 3 to 6 turns. This is something that you're going to want to always use and probably max boost. If you don't need the exploits or the dead aim, because he's also so strong that the crit may not even matter that much, you don't have to necessarily use BP on this if you have another source of active damage cap that can be used to extend his 100,000 damage cap. But this basically allows him to give 100,000 damage cap to himself, plus his init 1, so now he has 200,000 damage cap up for his 8-hit, which is crazy. Just have without accessories or weapons. That's another reason why he's crazy. This ends up becoming a very common thing for the really high power units. They all start getting 200,000 damage cap up in some way on their kit. His ultimate technique is a support class ultimate called the Scholar King's Machinations. All other allies take 30% max HP damage. Then self 100% max HP heal, recovers 50% of his own max SP, and grants self double cast for attack skills for the next 3 turns. At ultimate level 10, the scales to 75% max SP recover, and double cast turn duration becomes 4 turns. And at ultimate level 20, the scales to 100% max SP recover. Also, at ultimate 20, you will gain 40% charge per BP, 80% charge with ultimate EX. So it'll take 4 BP to full charge or 2 BP to full charge with ult EX. The 200% activation bonus is rear guard activation. It means he is able to use this from the back row the same turn a front row ally acts. So that's actually a very important thing to do, because that way he can charge up his ult. Then he can take a turn once his ult is charged to go to the back row that turn and use it on himself without losing any penalties at all. And then his row ally can do an action to save action economy. So that's a very good thing for him. Ult EX priority, I would chase A4 first because it is one of the best A4s in the game, but ideally you'd still want this as well. But definitely choose A4 over getting Ult EX. So for his Awakenings plus A4 accessory, for A1, his base P attack is already so high, this has the smallest effect, but after TP Plus releases, which is doubled by A1, it's still good for any DPS to have, plus you should probably get this on the way to A4 anyway. A2 is a luxury, he does not need it. A3, HP is always good, and it's increased further with TP Plus next year. But for the real star of the show, his A4 accessory, the Tyrant's Crown, gives 250 P attack. That's absurd. Losing 40 P def, 40 M def, and 30 speed, which is basically nothing to lose, to get 250 physical attack. And this accessory is formerly the best accessory in the game because it gave 100,000 damage cap up, and while the wearers in the front row inflict AoE 10% sword res down. So the A4 tier rating is, to no one's surprise, SS tier, must own. Until JP dropped Elrica EX2 and Pardis EX 2 weeks ago, this was one of the best A4s. This was the best A4 in the game. Now it's just the second best A4 in the game. Still God tier, 100k damage cap is always SS tier. It has ludicrous P attack stat, and the bonus passive sword res down for existing. It's amazing for any physical unit and a must own, if possible, for your account A4. Like, if you don't want to use Pardis because you think he's overpowered and trivializes his content, then get this A4 and use it on some of your weaker units, and now you can just have fun with your weaker units, just getting a massive power up with 100k damage cap and 250p attack. Like, there's a lot of fun to be had by using this. And also, keep in mind, if this came up a little sooner, because he released a month earlier than predicted, if your Ruby's a little short, you should probably still consider pulling a Pardis as much as possible, because let's say you only get him to A3. Do remember that if you are able to spend in this game some, there is this thing called the generic Awakening Stone that should be releasing probably soonish. We don't know exactly when, and that it is a paid-only stone, much like the collab Awakening Stone packs. But the gimmick to these generic stones is that they can work on any unit in the game, including champions and memories. Normally you can't exchange for them, you can't buy stones for them. That generic stone would work. So even if you're a little bit short, if you can get to, like, say A3, you could buy a generic stone when it releases, boom, get this A4. So I just wanted to point that out to keep that in mind. For an optimal skill loadout, skill 1 to 4, for skill 1, I would take his 1 to 4 AoE sword that takes 150 SP from his allies, because this becomes 8 hits when double casted and is his best nuke. And, like, remember, it's also AoE. Skill 2, I would take the self 30% physical attack / sword damage up, front row at max boost. Easy way to cap 50% P attack and sword damage if needed. Can also buff front row if you have the BP regen to allow them to use it at max boost. Skill 3, I would say you could take the one-hit AoE that debuffs P-def and sword res, so now he can just do something on off turns without using BP. That does help support a little bit, because, like, for example, him plus Signa, as you'll see later, can just cap both of those debuffs by themselves now. Skill 4, the Giga Nuke with 300k damage cap to slam through shields or help with farming weaker fights. Since it also gets double casted from his ult buff, I can strongly recommend taking that as well, or throwing that in if you're doing farming builds. Alright, unit synergy. So Shauna, need good regen for the entire party, as Pardis hurts everyone and steals their SP. So her SP stock also comes in very handy. BP regen as well comes in clutch. Signa can cap P-def and sword res down with Pardis and do amazing ult debuffs to ensure he is slamming cap. Richard, ultimate sword damage up buffs and his active buffs can help Pardis cap his P attack buff to 50% and upkeep his sword damage up. Canary, best shield shaver and breaker unit currently. Other breaker options work as well, but you definitely do need to have somebody there that's doing a lot of shield damage. Damage cap support options, ult damage cap and active damage cap givers are always welcome. For example, many teams in JP and now Taiwan that we've seen with Pardis do in fact use Solon, Renyu EX, Morusu EX when they release, because, like, their ult 20 when they do get it is 100k damage cap up. Even though he doesn't need the potency up, he wants damage cap so bad that it's still worth using their ult on him just to give him ultimate damage cap. So just keep that in mind. Any active damage cap givers are always welcome as well, because his main thing is he just needs as much damage cap as possible because he's going to hit it. For the future, exploit weakness units like Black Maiden and Moruso EX, so Pardis can destroy everything that breathes, until JP finally starts restricting this somewhat. Other sword DPSs of choice, as Pardis is largely self-sufficient, so you can multi-DPS easier. ODOO, once a 6-star plus buffs come. Yes, I know that they didn't come out and he beat them out, but think about it like this. Yes, ODOO got delayed, but with his 12-hit EX skill that he's going to get with his buffs, he might be able to outdo Pardis. He'll be great on the same team as Pardis. And, like, he's also going to get his ult 20 right away instead of having to wait, probably. So that's potentially a really good thing. unless they screw him over. We'll see. Elrica, his daughter, still useful with her 6-star. Normal Santos did get buffed and has an 11-hit EX skill, so he can be a decent sword DPS as to work alongside Pardis for now. The main co-partner to Pardis is definitely Black Knight in the future. He's the strongest unit in the game for some time, and so that's going to be a very good sword ally to use along Pardis as well, so you can start multi-DPSing, so just keep that in mind as well. Alright, so to pull or not to pull plus rating, Pardis is broken, period. No sugarcoating. He fundamentally shatters game balance, and it forever changed the game. That's not to say it's entirely negative. He is without a doubt an amazing quality of life for farming content, as he just devastates things. But many players may not enjoy using him on newer content, as he can trivialize a lot of it, removing the challenge. Play however you like, of course. Have fun your way. Yes, future DPSs can outdo him with proper setup simply due to hit counts, but Pardis is so brain-dead easy to set up that he's a must-use for many teams. It can always assist as a sub-DPS to the few that can out-damage him in the coming year. As always, pull advice is pull advice. Please pull responsibly and have fun your way. Tier 4, free-to-play, pull. If you struggled before now, you won't anymore. GG's. Tier 3, low spin/passes, pull. Consider A4 chases able to risk 9 to 13.5k rubies, mainly if you have 25k plus rubies. It is that good of an A4. I have to stress that it's that good. Tier 2, Dolphin, A4 Ulti X. Why is this not in Whale? Well, because Dolphins generally hoard for units like this, so now it's your time. Tier 1 Whale, A4 EX. Nothing quippy to say here if Dolphins should also be maxing here. Overall rating, DPS, SSS tier, support A, heal not available, tank B, overall tier SS. There's nothing really else to say. This unit's insane. Like he's going to make farming things like the game board, dragon board, and other like and cleaning up any EX fights you haven't done yet and stuff like that. Just going to make it super easy to do. Like I said, I do think that he does trivialize the game a good bit. So keep that in mind. If you still want the game to have some challenge, think about it before just always using him on your team. Or have fun. If you like to just completely destroy everything without thinking about it too much, have fun your way. Don't let me stop you. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Pardis. I'm going to be getting his A4 myself, hopefully, unless the game really, really hates me, because I really want to use it on other units and stuff too to make some more custom clears, because it's just that good of an A4 to have. If there's anything else you'd like to see from Octopath COTC, please let me know down below. Otherwise, please like, follow, and subscribe for more future COTC content to come. If you want to see me either be extremely happy or extremely sad, please check out my live stream on Thursdays. I will be streaming my pulls at some point. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Pardis, like I said. And I hope everyone has good luck chasing him and have fun playing the game. And yes, I know NetEase brought him a month early, but like I said, they probably have something special planned for the anniversary next month. They'll align with Octopath Traveler 0. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and look forward to that. Alright, well, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. See ya.